Hey everyone, my name is David Rao, and I'm the music teacher who blogs at makemomentsmatter.org. You can also find my ideas on Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest, Twitter, and a variety of other places if you search for my name, David Rao, or Make Moments Matter. I'm really excited to be sharing with y'all today about the plans to talk about all my K-5 lessons, and then to talk specifically about third grade and how we're doing some melodic dictation, rhythmic dictation, and then melodic dictation too. So I'm hoping to get there and spend more time specifically on that. But there's a lot to chat about quickly. First, if you hear me talk about like a resource or a puppet or a video or something in this video, I have a whole page on my website dedicated to links and things that I talk about. So if you want to go find that on, if I say like the links page, I mean you just at the bottom of the caption for this video, wherever you're watching, or if you're listening to the podcast, you can scroll down to the bottom of the description for the video. There should be a direct link there. And then also, if you want to do it manually, you can go to my website, makemomentsmatter.org, click the video tab, and then click the part that says Musical Mondays Recap 2021, 2022. Okay, sorry. I had to get that out of the way. Also, I hope you can hear me because I'm trying this new microphone and it's mostly working. Okay, one more thing. If you want to join us after the video is over, you want to continue the conversation, you can follow and join. I have a Facebook group called Every Moment Matters in Music Education Community, where you can ask questions and find answers and meet people and see cool links and stuff and post stuff that you want to share with other folks. Join if you want. We'd love to have you. That's Every Moment Matters, a music education community. Cool. And then coming up in the next couple weeks, in the last couple weeks I've been doing in-person workshops. It's been so much fun. And I'm doing another workshop this Saturday with the Greater Milwaukee Orff Dimensions, the Orff chapter in Milwaukee, and that's going to be in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, Oconomowoc, I said that right, Wisconsin. And so that's just outside of Milwaukee, and that's this Saturday, October the 2nd. And then I'm doing another workshop the following weekend back here in Kansas City, my hometown, with the Heart of America Orff chapter. So if you want to come to either of those, it's going to be a great time. And you can find signups if you go to my Facebook page, you go to my blog, you can click the About Me section on my blog and find all the workshops, or you can just go to either one of those places and sign up there. Okay. A couple updates about stuff. Last week I talked about the water shoes I'm wearing, and I'm wearing those in my classroom in place of normal shoes because I wanted something that would encourage me to move more, that would be give me traction but be a little bit easier to wear, especially if I'm like sitting crisscross applesauce or rolling around on the ground. I just want to wear something that is more comfortable and easy for me to move in, and water shoes have been really great for that. A lot of people use water shoes for yoga or for Pilates and things like that, or getting in the lake. But the nice thing about water shoes as opposed to like dance or ballet shoes is that they're way less expensive. The first pair I bought was like $7, and they're super, super comfortable and work really well. But I wanted to try something. I wanted to try another brand to see like what it would do, how it would react. I went with one that was, oh my gosh, $12. Breaking the bank. But it has a little bit more structure. I've only worn them for a week now, so I'm not gonna bring them on and show them to you all yet, but I'll hopefully share that soon. Anyway, trying more. If you have tried water shoes after hearing me talk about them and they've worked for you, please let me know which ones you've used and what do you think, and do you like them, and it'd be just cool to hear your thoughts. Okay, another thing that I shared about just yesterday on my Facebook and my Instagram, I shared about the door decor, so like what I have posted on the door to my classroom. And I've had a lot of people comment, so I just wanted to quickly talk about that. So our theme for the year at my school is the Olympics, and just we're trying to tie everything that we do throughout the year, research projects and concerts and all sorts of stuff, into this idea of like world cultures and learning about other countries and learning about other cultures and trying to make those connections. So I wanted to try and find a way to do that with my classroom, like the door to my classroom from the hallway. And I'm at my school, we are allowed to put things on our door. I know some people aren't because of fire code. We're allowed to do that. you could take this same idea and put it on a bulletin board. It'd be really easy to do that. But I wanted to just see if I can show you. I think I can show you what I'm doing. So let me try and switch it over. So this is not my door. Well, you'll see my door here in a second. But basically what I did is I took all of, I did a little research and I found different ways to say welcome from around the world. I found 50 different languages, different translations, and I printed all of those off. And I did it in black and white, but I did another version in color if we wanted that option. But I did it all in black and white. I printed off a thing that says like welcome to music, but I also have like welcome to my music classroom or welcome to this classroom, different options. But I cut them all out, I put them all out, and I think it looks really pretty cool. And in between words every once in a while I have a little note that looks like a quarter note, but inside the note head is like a flag from a country from around the world. Let me see if I can just show you. So Instagram, I'm going to try and move you over here so you can see this. Yeah, you can sort of see that. Okay. And then Facebook, let me try and change this. Okay, hopefully you can see this. So for this set, I sort of, you can see my door there, and so it says welcome to music, that's in big letters, and then each of those small things is a different language. So let me scroll through and show you like what's included, because I put this on Teachers Pay Teachers if you're interested, but let me just sort of show you what's included here. So this is the little bubbles that say welcome to, and you can see either say welcome to music class or welcome to music. You've got options there, but then I spelled out music, MUSIC, but I also, in case there's like an art teacher or something out there who also wanted to do this, I went through the entire alphabet and put all the letters. So if you're like, oh, my tech teacher wants to do it too, you've got that option if you want. But here are the little notes with the flags. So lots of different flags from around the world. I haven't done all the world flags because that would take forever. But if there's one that you particularly want or something, let me know. I could try and do that. But then here are all the words. So I did them in a couple different fonts. So there's like a bigger one and a smaller one. And thanks to folks who saw these today and was like, hey, I think that you have a misspelling. So I went in and changed a couple. I think I fixed Indonesian and Filipino because they were not quite correct. So I went in and changed that. But yeah, so all these come in two different fonts. That's the bigger font. Let me see if I can find the small. There's the smaller font. And so basically what I did is I just printed them all out and I cut around them, not super close to the letter, but close enough. And then I put it up on the door so that it says welcome to music, and then it has all these different ways to say welcome. And let me see if I can get back here and show you again that classroom door picture. Yeah, so let me see if I can zoom in here. Nope, sure enough can't. Okay. Wait, maybe I can. Let's see. Nope. Okay, well, I'm new to being able to share this on my computer screen. Anyway, so it says welcome to music, and all that is, oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. So you can see they're sort of all interspersed with the smaller font and the bigger font, and then I just wanted like a good variety so that, as kids walk by, they could see different versions of how to say welcome and how to do it. And then on the side, I have a little guide that shows all 50 languages and sort of explains like, oh, you're looking at Valkomen or whatever, and that's this language, or you're looking at Benvinda or whatever, that's this language, or, just so that kids can sort of get a little bit of a, so they can understand where each one is from and sort of make more sense of that. Anyway, sorry, just wanted to share that because I shared that on my Instagram and my Facebook yesterday, and I had a bunch of people asking about it and talking about it, so I wanted to share it tonight too. Ooh, and one more cool thing before I start sharing lessons. All right, also, by the way, my dogs have decided to join me tonight, so Millie and Lucy are in the background, not being helpful at all, just sleeping through the whole thing. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I don't know if you can see. There you go, Instagram. There's Millie being not at all helpful. They decided they had to just join me tonight. Anyway, one more thing I wanted to share. So I shared, again, on Instagram a couple weeks ago about a new t-shirt I have from Dynamic Doodle Company. You can find them on Instagram. And I got this, I got a couple more really cool things. First of all, there are these cool music stickers. Oh my gosh, look at that. Music, you can't see that really well on Facebook, sorry. Music Education Matters. Oh. Right next to my Music Connect Ed sticker. And then, so I've got the t-shirt I wore a couple weeks ago. And then I got this super cool one that says squad goals. And look at all these female musicians. I love it. Okay, so there's like Mendelssohn, Boulanger, and there, I can't read these backwards because I can't Let's see. Schumann. Anyway, and these are like super cool. Price and Seeger and Clark. Anyway, love it. So I'm going to wear that like in the next couple days. Maybe parent-teacher conferences. Why not? And then I got these amazing cool little composer buttons, which Orff is in here. Love that. I'm going to have to put that like on my little travel bag. Anyway, super cute, super fun. So I want to share because, you know, who doesn't need another music education t-shirt / sticker / you know, everything. So anyway, like this cute one says, I teach tiny musicians. Anyway, so much fun. Okay, enough chatting about music swag. Time to get to lessons. So my goal for today is I'm going to try and get through all my K through 5 lessons. Some of them are going to maybe be a little boring because I'm like prepping for a concert, but I'll definitely tell you about what I'm doing. And then I'm hoping to feature 3rd grade and talk about melodic dictation and sort of the breakdown process of that. Okay, so for me, it's week 6. Each of my lessons is 30 minutes long. I see kids twice a week for 30 minutes. So if you're like, wait, how long are these lessons? Why does this seem to be zipping through real fast? That's why. So my kindergarten, we do our come in and make a circle song. I know I've shared that before in these videos, but just in case, it goes, come and make a circle, circle, circle. Come and make a circle all around. Take hands together, everyone together. Once we've made a circle, then we'll all sit down. I do that for K1 and 2. They're all primed. They all know that like when they come in and they're in charge of making the circle themselves, and they're in charge of seating themselves. So once everyone's in and everyone's made a circle, they know that they need to sit down and that they get to do that themselves. We do our come and make a circle song. And then I talk about how over the weekend, I was out doing lots of work in my yard, picking up sticks and doing stuff. And of course, along came, and this is sort of perfect that my dogs are actually in the room for this, because along comes my Basset Hound friend, who's named after my very first Basset Hound, Milo. And so anyway, along comes Milo, and Milo says, I also helped in the yard this weekend, and I was doing very good. What were you doing, Milo? I was watching for invaders. Invaders. I don't think we had any invaders in the yard. In fact, we did. We had multiple invaders. We had chipmunks, and we had rabbits, and we had squirrels. Oh, the squirrels. Yeah, I don't like squirrels. Squirrels are my least favorite thing. Because I let you chase them, though. Chasing them is fun. Yeah, okay, so Milo is very good at chasing and watching out for squirrels who he thinks are sort of invading the yard. Yes, they are invaders, and I take care of them. How do you take care of them? I chase after them, and I go, when I howl at them. That is what I do. Okay, great. Well, anyway, so you went and chased after the squirrels. In fact, I did. And then one squirrel, it kept coming back. And so you know what I did? I waited, and I went, and walked very slowly. And then, once I got close enough, I went, run, 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 and I tried to get it, and I tried to get the squirrel, and I did not get the squirrel. But what I did do is, I chased it up the tree, and I sat and I watched it. And then I backed away, and it came down the tree. And then I chased it again, up another tree. This time it was a hickory tree. And I chased it up the tree, and I waited, and it came down. And I chased it up another tree. This time it was, I don't know what tree was that. I think it was a mulberry tree. Up the mulberry tree, and then down. And then I chased it up an ash tree, and then down an ash tree. And then up another hickory tree, and then down. And then up, and I was chasing it up and down this entire time. It was wonderful. Oh, so you chased the squirrel all weekend. In fact, I did. It was great. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, so we wrote a little song about it, and the song goes, let us chase the squirrel up the hickory, down the hickory. Let us chase the squirrel up the hickory tree. Yes, and that is what we did. Well, not we. I just did it by myself, but I chased it up the tree, up the hickory tree, and down the hickory tree, and up the hickory tree, and down the hickory tree, and I went everywhere I got it. I mean, I didn't catch it, but I put the fear into it. I think you did. So anyway, and actually that Milo goes and says, you know, like he's tired, and he goes, like lays down for a second, which is very Basset Hound. And then out comes Squeak, who is my little red, this is like the finger puppet version of the red squirrel, and it is adorable. But anyway, Squeak comes out and goes, I did not like that Basset Hound. You chased me. I was trying to get food, and it chased me up the tree and down the tree and up the tree and down. Anyway, so Squeak gives his side of the story. But what we eventually do for that song is that on the first part, the singing part, we do a steady beat. So let us chase the squirrel up the hickory, down the hickory, just patting, just as if our hands are feet and they're just walking. We're pretending our hands are feet and we're making them walk to a good steady beat. And then let us chase the squirrel up the hickory, down the hickory. Let us chase the squirrel up the hickory. And on the last word, tree, they go, tree, and they get to make their hands run, which is fun. And so we do that back and forth a couple different times. And then we try and give good contrast. So like the first part, the A section, we are walking, the B section, we're running. We talk about slow versus fast. Maybe we do more of a quiet because Milo's creeping up on the squirrel, and then loud as he's trying to get to the squirrel. So just a contrasting thing with a little bit of an A, B in there. I eventually switched from just singing or sitting there to playing ukulele. And so when they're running, I strum really, really fast. And that's basically it. We're just sitting. It's sort of a finger play version of the song, just using our hands on our knees. In the next lesson, we'll add a little bit more. Then I talk about, I love fall because I love going out. Sorry, tambourine fall. I love fall because I love going out and the weather's nice and you cool off a little bit and it's so great. You can wear jackets. And then I really love going out to like the farms and like going to pumpkin patch and the apple orchard and getting apple cider and I love going and doing all the fall stuff, corn maze, everything. But one day I was out trying to enjoy the apple orchard and I was thinking, I'm going to get some great snacks. And then out of nowhere, out of the tree fell an apple and it hit me on the head, which was not very nice. But, I thought I can either go, I'm really upset about how it hit. I could get really upset like that, but I wasn't going to let myself get upset just by an apple falling on my head. And then I thought I could go, that apple fell on my... But I'm not going to get upset like that. I'm just going to be in control of my emotions and in control of my body. I don't want to get upset like that because what? Just one little apple's going to ruin my day? No. Right? So anyway, then I thought, I came here for a snack anyway, so why don't I just use this apple and it can be my snack? And so I went, but before I could take a bite, that's when I looked at the apple and I saw, hey, what are you doing? Because what's in this little apple puppet? It's a worm, right? Kindergarten. Oh my gosh, what are you trying to do? Trying to ruin my day? I was in here just gently eating my apple and you came along to eat it too? This is my apple. And I could have gone, but I wanted the apple. I could be upset again, right? But I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to let myself get upset over just an apple. There are plenty of apples in this orchard, right? Why get upset? So anyway, the apple, but then it made me think of this song that I know. And it's a song that goes, apple tree, will your apple fall on me? I won't cry, I won't shout. If your apple knocks me out. Now, it would take a pretty heavy apple falling very hard to be knocked out, but I don't think that's going to happen. But if you were in like an apple orchard and an apple fell on you, would you cry? No. Would you shout? Would you be super, super upset? No. You wouldn't let it ruin your day, right? So that's good because we are going to go to the apple orchard. See my wonderful apple, and I hold up a beanbag. And they're like, that's not an apple. I'm like, we're pretending, it's fine. So anyway, so here's the beanbag, but it's actually an apple. And I am a magic, evil apple tree. And I'm going to be walking around, because the kids are still sitting in the circle. I'm going to be walking around. And I'm going to go, apple tree, will your apple fall on me? I won't cry, I won't shout. If your apple knocks me out, and on the word out, I get to drop the apple. And if you're sitting underneath the apple, guess what's going to happen? It might fall on you. If it falls on you, will you cry? And they're like, no. Will you shout? Okay. So they're already excited. So that's what happens. I walk around. I know there are many versions of apple tree. I have literally never done it before in my career. It has been so much joy in my classroom. So why have I not taught this for the last 11 years? I don't know. So anyway, we walk around, and on the last word, out, I drop the apple, the beanbag, on whoever's sitting there. And then everyone giggles, and the kid's like, ha, ha, ha. And then they get to go get an apple as well. You could maybe do it where like they just take your apple and then they walk and then they drop it on someone else and they walk. But I do the cumulative version where like, so like I drop one and then that kid goes and gets a beanbag. Then 2 of us are walking and then 2 of us drop and then there are 2 more kids. And so it accumulates. Eventually everyone has an apple, right? And so at that point, I just have them walk around in the circle and just drop on the floor once, and then I say, okay, I have an idea. And we sort of make our circle big around the edge of the room, and I have them hold the apple over their own head and drop it on out. And they think that's hilarious. And then again, I was like, well, how else can I extend this? What else can I do? So then I said, boom, you're all frozen. You are no longer evil walking apple trees. Now you're frozen in the ground. You're stuck in the ground. You have to stay where you are. Your roots are holding you in place. But I heard from the worm, I was talking to the worm a minute ago, and the worm told me, worm, do you want to come and give your account of the story? Yes, I have heard there's a huge, terrible, big worm that is coming around to eat apples everywhere. Any apple that it can find on the ground, it will eat. Oh, really? Oh, no. Wonder where that big apple-eating worm could be. Ha ha, it's me. And so all the kids have beanbags, right? They're on the edge of the room. They're waiting to drop the apple. And so what I do now is I sort of flip it around where I walk around, I'm the worm, and then when they drop their apple at the end of the song, I grab one and I go, nom, 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 I'm going to eat your apple. And then I go put it away in the beanbag basket. And then me and the kid whose apple I ate, we go around, and then it's sort of like cumulative again, only we're picking up and taking apples back to the basket to put them away. So it's like sort of, I don't know, silly, but great because it cleans up our mess, and also is like another way to keep doing the song, and they still are giggling and having a super great time. Okay, and then that's basically it for the lesson for that day. The second time they come back, we do come and make a circle. We do let us chase the squirrel again. Milo comes out, reprises his story. The Squeak, the squirrel, comes out, reprises his story. And then this time we start out by doing just finger play, just hands, right? So walking on the first part and then running at the end of the song. And then eventually, after doing it 2 or 3 times, we stand up, we walk in place, and then we run in place, which they appreciate and love. If we have time, we redo Apple Tree. We do just another time through it. Same basic process as the time before. They are happy to have another shot at it. Like I said, I have never done Apple Tree. I think forever it's going to be a kindergarten lesson, but because I've never done it before and because we weren't singing last year and because I'm trying to just like make all my lessons more joyful, I added Apple Tree, and you'll see in a second, to first grade because they don't know it, they haven't done it, and why not? It's fun and silly. And I don't normally do that where I put the same thing in 2 different grades, but because it's going to be a kindergarten thing, it's not like first grade's going to hit it again. You know, I'm not going to do it next year in first grade. So it's just like a chance for them to get that and get the experience and have fun and reinforce the sing the so me, which they didn't get any of really in kindergarten. So it's worthwhile for the content, but also it's fun and it's great to add in. So first grade lessons for the week, they come in, we do our circle song, which I sang at the beginning of this video. And then I'm back in, I didn't mention this with kindergarten, but with K1 and 2, I go to the piano and I'm just sort of, beginning of the year, I would speak, hello, David, and then David would be like, hello, Mr. Rao, or we do like, where is David? Here I am. There you are. We've done multiple versions of the like calling out kids where they can speak back their response. And that's how we sort of started the year. So their solo at first was just speaking, and now we've moved on to singing, so that now when I sing like, hello, David, that kid can go, hello, Mr. Rao, hello, Julian, hello, Mr. Rao, hello, Ronnie, hello, Mr. Rao. And so we go back and forth so that the kids can like sing back their responses now. But we started out with speaking first because I wanted them to get the confidence of doing that and speaking back a solo before they were asked to sing in front of their peers, especially because last year we didn't do like really any singing, and so it could get a little bit scary for some of those kids to be singing a solo so early in the year. So we start out with speaking, now we're singing, and that's one of the things that we do as soon as kids come in. I mentioned in my last video last week that we've gone from head, shoulders, knees and toes, like the original Head and Shoulders, to head and shoulders, baby, 1, 2, 3, head and shoulders, baby, 1, 2, 3, head and shoulders, head and shoulders, head and shoulders, baby, 1, 2, 3. And so that's the new version of Head and Shoulders that we're doing in this lesson. We do a fun lesson that I know I've shared about in previous years. It's a poem called Jean, Jean Dressed in Green. And what I do with this is I start out the poem by saying, like, I'm going to talk about my friend Jean. Jean loves green. Jean would wear green all day long in every part of her outfit if she could. And she would wear green shorts and a green shirt and green beret and green hair bow and green shoes and green everything. Ooh, sorry, Instagram, I almost lost you. Oh, I may still, okay. Anyway, she would wear green everywhere. And let me tell you about my friend Jean. Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat. What do you think she would eat? And then I let kids guess. And usually they'll say like broccoli, lime. They'll say green things because I've made a point out of making green. And so I say, ooh, good, all good guesses. Ooh, wonderful, love it. Some kids will even rhyme. Went downtown to eat some beans. Also, great, probably more appropriate than what actually happens in the poem. But Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat ice cream. And so I put up on the board just this clip art of an ice cream cone. How many scoops did she eat? 1. And it was vanilla. I don't know if you can see, the color's not so great on Facebook, but it's just a white scoop. Ooh, but she was not full. Vanilla was not enough. So we're going to add another scoop. What flavor do you think this color could be? Kids raise their hand. Lots of options. It's red. So they could say strawberry, or they could say cherry, or they could say watermelon. They could say whatever they think would be red. Red raspberry. And so I also say, like, could it be tomato? And they're just like, no, can't be. I'm like, but wait. I mean, that might be gross, but, like, could it be tomato? Because it's red, and usually tomato-flavored stuff is red. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, weird. It could be, sure. But we're going to choose cherry. So then the poem changes to Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat ice cream. How many scoops did she eat? 2. And they were vanilla and cherry. Then we add in another one. Let's see, what should I add? Okay, I've got this one handy. This one, I say is like Oreo, or I don't know, it's brown with little brown flecks. It looks like chocolate chips. So you can, I don't know, we say Oreo, sometimes we say brownie, we say chocolate chunk, but we come up with all the options that maybe it could be based on what it looks like, and we basically add up and up and up. In this lesson, we try to get at least 5, and this is just a set of clip art that I printed out. I know I shared about this last year. If you want this clip art, you're interested, I can send you the link to where I got it, and you can just get it and print it out yourself. But it's like all different colors. There's purple and pink and lime green and orange and red and every color you could probably imagine. And then you can also add on with the clip art set. You can like add sprinkles on top or add, let me find an example of one with, like this one has like syrup or topping or something on it. Anyway, so the point of this is a couple things. I want to use the poem. I want to do a cumulative poem where it keeps adding and adding and adding. I want them to have to sequence in the different flavors. I want them to think about what else could it be. Think about options of what else could we say that goes with this, because that's like something we do in improvisation. What else can you do? What else can we do? And so getting that in their mindset of like, what else can this food be? What else can this represent? You know, it gets sort of that idea in their head, which is great. And then there's just so much more. Like eventually when she adds way more scoops, which we're going to slow down. So like in the next couple lessons when she eats like up to 10 scoops, instead of being Jean, dressed in green, it's going to be Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat ice cream. You know, and so we're going to sort of just change the character of the poem. But it's just a fun, easy poem to do that with. And then if we have time, we add in apple tree. Same process I did with kindergarten. But again, I'm just looping it back in because they've never done it before, and why not? And there's so many cool benefits to it. So that comes in this lesson. And then I know I shared last week that second grade is doing Old King Glory on the Mountain. And again, that was one that I would probably do in first grade, but we're doing in second grade because they didn't get it before. And so I'm now introducing Old King Glory to the first graders. And I shared that process I know before, but it basically is, if you're not familiar with the song, it goes, Old King Glory on the mountain was so high that it nearly touched the sky with a 1, 2, 3, follow me. And so as kids are sitting in a circle, I walk around wearing my King Glory crown, which is a tambourine, holding my scepter, which is a bass bar mallet. And I walk around and I walk and sing and play ukulele. And then on the 1, 2, 3, I tap 3 different kids, and then they have to stand up and follow me. By the time we're done, the entire class is circling around the room, following me around the mountain, except for one kid, the last kid to get chosen, and then that kid gets to be Old King Glory, the next Old King Glory. I like this song for a couple reasons. It does super extend the range for these kids. And so that's cool and gives them another thing to sort of work on. It also is a cumulative, and I love that the game that the kid who gets chosen last gets to be the next leader. Because so many times the kid who gets chosen last is like, nobody wants me, or I'm not chosen, or whatever. And so this is fun because then that kid gets to be like the next leader, which is great. So anyway, Old King Glory, fun time. I shared more in depth on the process of that in a 2nd grade lesson last week, but this is sort of a reprise of that. As far as like the teaching part goes, it's new for my 1st graders. We do our hello song back and forth. We do Jean dressed in green, trying to add at least up to 10 ice cream scoops if possible. Sometimes I put all the scoops out on the board and I let kids choose, and they have to tell me they can choose which ice cream scoop they want by telling me the color, but then they have to tell me the flavor that matches. So if they're just like the blue one, I'm like, oh great, what flavor will that be? And they're like, blue. I'm like, no, that's not a flavor, that's a color. What flavor would it be? Oh, blueberry. Sure. What else could it be? Blue raspberry. Great. What else could it be? Cotton candy. Sure. What else could it be? Ocean water. Sure. Like the Sonic flavor, not like actual ocean water. Anyway, so having the scoops up on the board, they can sort of choose, see the one they really like, and then we can go from there. And then if we have time, apple tree, because they love it. 2nd grade, they come in and they do the song we've done for the last several weeks, Dippy Doo, which I know I've shared about, but in case you don't know, it goes, good day to you, good day, oh Dippy Doo, good day to you, good day, oh Dippy Doo. And on that part, they just sort of wave and point to someone across the circle. And then the B section goes, dip, dip, Dippy Doo, oh Dippy Doo, dip, 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 Dippy Doo, Dippy Doo, oh Dippy Doo. There's a little hand clapping routine that you can either clap and pat your hands, you can clap and pat the hands of the person next to you. In these lessons, what we've been doing the last couple times is finding 2 other actions that you can do. So you could do high, low clapping, you could do front and back clapping, you could do clap, stomp, you could do standing and clap and then smack the ground, so that's up and down. You could do front and back where you have to turn around. You could do in and out of the circle. There's so many things you can do with this. And so that's what we've been sort of doing with Dippy Doo in the last couple weeks. Not just the clap, and pat down, but like actually a couple more actions. Brielle, I see you mentioned on Facebook you'd like the link to the clip art. Please send me a direct message because I will forget that it's in the comments. But anyway, if you send me that message, I will make sure I send that to you. Okay, and then, let's see. 2nd grade, they've already learned Old King Glory, so we go back to sort of run it once or twice, and then we do this fun dance. My kids are allowed to touch. They're allowed to dance together. So we've been doing this special partner dance from this book, Sashay the Donut, by the New England Dancing Masters. And the dance we're doing is called Kings and Queens. It's a long way set dance where they're partners looking across from each other and down a long alley. And the actions are pretty simple. It's like walk in and bow, walk out. Right hand turn and back. Left hand turn and back. Spin, turn, and back. And then the top couple gets to go down the alley and back, and then they walk down like a king and a queen at the end of the whole thing, and then the whole set starts over. One thing that I've changed in here is one of the actions, it was originally called a gypsy partner, and I don't use that terminology anymore because gypsy is sort of derogatory. So I've taken that out and I just call it the glare, because what it says to do for that turn is they say walk counterclockwise around your or walk clockwise around your partner while facing each other and maintaining eye contact. So instead of calling it that, I just say we're going to do the glare, which means like you have to like or the stare or whatever, which means like you make eye contact and you have to spin around your partner, which you've just been doing with the right hand and left hand turn. But so you got to spin around your partner without actually touching all. You just got to keep your eyes connected. And they think that is hilarious. So anyway, if you know this dance, it's a great dance. If you don't know this dance, or if you don't know the New England Dancing Masters, the Amidons, you should go buy their books. They're really great. Yeah, it's just super fun. And this is a super nice, simple dance because it's not tricky for second graders to do. They can do it, but it's also like more like stately and less like swing your partner. You know what I mean? It's more, it puts them into the mindset of like music but having fun, but like keeping sort of more orderly as opposed to like spin around the room and go crazy. So the dance was called Kings and Queens. It's in Sashay the Donut by the New England Dancing Masters. And the music that they use is called On the Danforth. That's what's on the CD that goes with it. Okay, cool. And then let's talk about, oh yes, and we start the dance the first day. We basically learn it, but we don't get to do it with music, like with the recording, because we don't get quite far enough for that. So in the second lesson, we do Dippy Doo one more time. We finish the Kings and Queens dances. We do it with music, and then if we have time, I quiz the kids with just basic rhythmic patterns of ta, ta-dee, and quarter rest, so quarter note, quarter rest, and eighth notes. And I quiz the kids on those up on the smart board. Cool. Okay, I'm going to skip third grade because I'm going to go back in about, hopefully, just a minute or two. Fourth grade, we're getting ready for our Veterans Day program. We started, the very first song we learned was a song called, I call it The Voice of America. I think it's actually called America the Free, but it's in, like, I think it's in Silver Burdette making, maybe it's in Share the Music and Not Making Music. I can't remember. It's one on the textbook series. It was also in Music Express. I think you can also find it on Music K8. I'm not sure. But I know that it was published in Music Express, and I think I know it was in one of the textbook series. But it's just a fun, easy little song. We learned the actions for that. We've already learned the music in a previous lesson. We finish in our first lesson of the week, we finish the 50 Nifty United States. We go through, we learn the whole procedure for all of that. Someday I should do a video on how I share like concert music and how I prep people or prep students for that. Would any of you like to know how I do that? Or you're like, whatever, I do it my own way? I don't know. If you're interested in that, let me know. But I feel like maybe many of you aren't, so maybe I just won't do that. But anyway, just let me know if you're interested. So we do Voice of America, we learn the actions, and then we finish 50 Nifty United States, and that's basically all the time we have. If we have a chance, we run America the Beautiful. And then in the second lesson of the week, we run the 50 Nifty United States. We start a new song called Hats Off to America, which is like an octavo-ish, I can't remember. It's super duper old. Might also, again, be published in a couple other places, but it's a fun song. It sort of ends with a partner song. So there's like an A section, a B section, and so it ends up sort of with a partner song towards the end. I still want an armed services song where like I recognize each branch of the armed services, but I don't know how I'm going to do that because, I mean, it's Veterans Day, so like I for sure want to do that, but I'm not sure how to do that because like I envision in my head like, and stand when we mention the Coast Guard, or stand when we mention the armed services. If if you have served in one of the, but like I'm not going to have a public audience, so like there's going to be nobody in the gym except maybe another grade level to see it. Like we're going to live stream it, so I can't say like please stand and be recognized because there's nobody going to stand and no one to be recognized and no one to recognize. So I don't know how I'm going to do that, but there's a song that someone recommended to me, and I've found it in Music K8, and they sent me this link. I'll try and track down the name of it again, but they added text in where it was like in between each one, they sort of read a little bit about the armed services, so I'm thinking maybe I could have kids pre-record that, and I could add that in. I'm still working that out, but you know what? I got a little over a month to figure out final details on that. I'm seeing a lot of people saying in the comments, yes, please share concert prep. Okay, but maybe I'll try for that next week because I will be prepping 2 concerts at that point, so why not? Okay, then 5th grade, again, is another time where, I've said this like 3 times today, where I don't usually program the same content for multiple grade levels. You can, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't do it because usually if I like teach the content in one grade level, and then I teach at another grade level. Like I usually, when I'm planning, I look at my previous year's lessons and say like, okay, I taught this about this time of year, I taught this. So I usually do, I do many of the same songs every year. Like fourth grade will always get XYZ, and second grade will always get XYZ. So if I teach it for multiple grade levels, then there's a chance that like, oh, you already know this one. So I don't normally do that, but I have been doing that a little bit more this year because we just didn't sing it all last year. So I take some of those like greatest hits songs and I reprogram them in. So like fifth grade is doing Farmer's Dairy Key, which I talked about like 2 or 3 weeks ago on one of these videos that I was doing with fourth grade, and it's the same exact process, just with fifth grade, and they just catch it a little bit faster. I use the process for that from Jeff and Randy's book called As American as Apple Pie. Jeff Krisky and Randy DeLellis wrote the game plan curriculum, and so they have a bunch of other little books too that have like 30-year lessons or so instead of like a year-long set of lessons. But like this is one of those books. It's called As American as Apple Pie, and it has some really great, cool things in it. So I do Farmer's Dairy Key in there. And then, ooh, this is fun, but I don't think I have a lot of time to talk about it. I'll talk another week maybe about what I'm doing with fifth grade is we're hitting some of those really tough rhythmic concepts, and I'm trying to just a little bit break them in because I know I'm going to run into concert prep and I'm going to want to, like, I want to talk about it now so we can come back to it later. So we're talking about 8th note and 16th note pairs. So like 1 8th note and 2 16th notes, and then 2 16th notes and 1 8th note. So like T ticka and ticka T, or ta di mi and taka di, if you use that language. So in one lesson we sort of talk about that, how it works, how it functions. We talk a little bit about the theory, which I was stressed thinking about, but it's actually worked pretty well. And then in the second lesson of the week, we do Dairy Key, and then in the time we have left, we learn about an 8th rest. I'm not going to go into that because it would take too long to explain. It'd be better to just run that whole lesson. But it's worked okay. I would love to know what y'all have done in the past to like talk through that process, because I've done it. This year was more successful than most years, so it was just another thing to try and see how it worked, and it worked pretty well. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much into that because I want to hit third grade. But it was just some of those more advanced concepts. We already talked about syncopation and some other things. So this was like the next step, and we pulled out whiteboards and tried things and did things. And if nothing else, they can now draw some of those things, and it's sort of fun to get them the chance to do that. Okay, let's jump to third grade because I want to spend a few more minutes talking about that. Third grade comes in and they learn, there's a So Me song that I learned in my ORF levels. It's not my lesson. I didn't make it, and I don't have permission to share it yet, so I don't want to put it out there. But it's a fun song. It's called New Shoes, and it's just basically a So Me melody. Actually, So Me La. And so it's just really simple, but it does have some partner passing stuff. The thing that I want them to get out of it is that I want them to learn it and like have it ingrained in their head, because eventually we're going to dictate it. So we're going to write down the melody, and so I really want them to hear it and feel it in their head. So in the first and second lessons of the week, we take the song, we learn it, we do it. The second lesson of the week, the first half of that lesson is, again, take the song, learn it, try it, go through it, do it with partners, blah, blah, blah. Really get that game and song ingrained in their head. Because then the second half of each of the lessons is a variation of this process. So I have them take out, they get a little, and this is a dry erase pocket. If you've never seen these before, and I hadn't seen them until like 3 years ago, and it's changed my life. But dry erase pocket, so what it is, it's like just a plastic pocket, and you can put anything inside. So instead of like laminating a worksheet, you can just print it out and shove it in here, which is amazing. And then kids can write on it if they want. They can, what I'm doing is like I'm having them use manipulatives on top of it, and the pocket like protects just the flimsy piece of paper inside better than like just leaving it out. So the pocket's really great. I put a link to these online. You can find them anywhere, Amazon, teacher stores. I feel like if you buy them from teacher stores, they are more expensive than if you just buy them from like Office Depot or Amazon or whatever. So I put a link to them, but if you're looking for this sort of thing, it's just dry erase pocket. Your school actually may have a bunch of them. In my old school, they're like, yeah, we have a ton of these. Don't buy them with your budget. Just here, take some from the storeroom. Cool. But if you don't have them, they're totally worth getting. So, and you can write on them with dry erase. You can clean that off. That's cool. But what we did in this lesson, and I'm going to try and move things around so you can see it better. But what we did in this lesson is each kid got the little pocket, and inside is just a paper with one line, and on the flip side it has 2 lines. So they get that, and then I also give them some bingo chips. And these are just the cheapy I had when I was a kid, just these little plastic see-through chip things. Okay, so they get a pocket and they get a handful of the chips. Okay, let me see if I can flip around my camera to show you like a top-down view of what we do with it. So I'm going to try and flip my camera around, which always is so successful when I try and do this. It's not always successful. I'm really sorry. I'm going to try. You're going to see. Oh, look, there are the dogs. Hey, dogs. Thanks for being here. Okay. Let me flip y'all around. Facebook. Okay, and if you can't hear me, well, you won't know that I just said that. But if you can't hear me, please let me know. Okay. All right, Instagram, let's try and get y'all over here so you can see too. All right. Woo. All right, cool. So what we do the first thing we do is like they get their counters. Ooh. All right. And I say, okay, I'm going to give you a little pattern, and I want you to just mark down with your counters what you hear. So I use different language. Depends on what I'm doing, but in this lesson I could use like apple pear, or I could use pizza and milk or whatever. But in this lesson I just use walk and running. And so I say walk, walk, running, walk. If you're going to do that, how many sounds does walk have? And we clap it, there's 1 sound, okay. And then what about running? Running, okay, that's 2 sounds. So then I'm going to put 2 little pieces together for that. And this is a super callback to things that I didn't ever have these kids in 1st grade. It's my 2nd year at this school. So hopefully they've done some of this. We did some of this in 2nd grade. So this is a callback to things we've done before. But if we did walk would be 1 piece, running would be 2. So I say walk, walk, running, walk. Okay, so it would look sort of like this. Cool. Okay, now if we're going to use this sheet with the line, we're going to put the pieces on the line. And if you were in another room, when you say on the line, you might think like it's sitting on top, like on a shelf. Or maybe you think like it's hanging under like a stocking, or like hanging like an apple from a tree. But when I say on the line, or I say a line, I want the line to go through the note. And the cool thing about these counters is because they're see-through, you can literally see the line going through it. Now, I have up on the board, I have projected a line, and I just have little magnetic like circles that stick up there, but because the projection from my digital projector projects onto my little pieces, you can also see the line going through them. I don't know if that makes sense, me saying it, but they're able to see the same sort of thing with a line going through. So we move it down to walk, walk, running, walk. Okay, then I give them a new pattern. I'll say like running, 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 walk. Okay. One of the things I have to talk about with kids is so many kids do this, right? And so I say to kids, let me give an example. So one of the things is on the board, then I say like, if your teacher gave you a piece of paper, would they want you to start right on the edge and say, they wouldn't want you to like put your letter right here on the edge, right? They'd want you to leave a little space. They'd want you to space it out. And kids are familiar with finger space, right? So that, like using this visual of like the writing it out helps kids to do more of this and space it out and not put their dots immediately in the very front. I want them to be able to see it sort of simply and easy. I also make sure that they don't do this because that looks like running, walk, walk, running, walk. I want them to have them together. So you could use tas and toddies if you want, but I just want them to get the idea of the words in their head because eventually they're going to be doing apple tree, so I want them to be thinking about the words as we do it. So we do several of those, and then we flip it over, and this time I say, okay, now I have 2 lines, and on the top line, now I did that, I tried doing this with the interval of a third, didn't work the first time. So instead I moved up to an interval of a fifth, and I would say, here's my top line, here's my bottom line. And I would do it in a higher range, but for you tonight, I'm just singing it sort of down lower. But I've got my top line, I've got my bottom line. So if I wanted to do walk, walk, running, walk, I'd put it up here. Walk, walk, running, walk. If I wanted walk, walk, running, walk, I'd have to move it down here. And the process I have the kids do, I say that first just to show them like what it sounds like on both lines. And then I say, you know, when I give you an example, what you could do is you could put it just up here, like if it's running, running, walk, and you're not sure what line it goes on, well, just do the rhythm part first. Running, 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 walk. And then when you're ready, listen for whether you think it's high or low. So high, low, running, 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 walk. Which one do you think that is? It's high, or some kids are like, it's low because they haven't gotten it yet. That's fine. But I say, yeah, it's high. Running, 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 walk. Or maybe I'll even switch to just playing piano. Bum, 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 bum. Or you could, you know, play it on another instrument if you wanted. On a xylophone, whatever. Bum, 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 bum. And with kids, what I say to them is, you know, as I'm playing, does it sound like a walk or does it sound like a running? Right? Bum, 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 bum. Well, it sounds like, for that, with a piano, it's really hard. If they hear the word, they can make this separate out. But if you go bum, 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 you might just get that. Because they can't quite differentiate. So I usually say, like, you know, I'm going to give you like 4 things. Bum, 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 bum. That's like for the first example, and then I ease them into hearing them without the bigger spaces there. Bum, 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 bum. So anyway, it's always a process, and it's like I see that kids aren't getting it, so I switch up the example just a little bit to make it clearer. So like running, 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 walk is easier for them to get than dun, 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 when it's earlier on, if that makes sense. Anyway, so we start out by doing just an example on one line. So walk, walk, running, walk, and the next one might be running, walk, running, walk. And eventually we get to 2-line examples. Running, walk, and they can usually hear that that's different, right? There's a difference that is switched. Running, walk, and so I'll show them this. You're going to have kids who are going to stack, and this is when you can go and talk about how when we're reading 2 lines, we don't read the top line and then read the second line like you would read if you're reading words on a page. But instead, we're going to read both lines at the same time. And I do this on the board. I get out my yardstick, and I show them like tracking through with the yardstick, sort of like I'm showing you today with the pen. And so we talk about how you got to like move it so what comes first and what comes second based on what you hear first and what you hear second. I usually try when I'm doing a multi-line, I try and do like top line for 2 beats, bottom line for 2 beats. I don't go like walk, walk, running, walk. I don't do that the first time. I usually try and make it pretty simple. And then as we get more advanced, then we'll do more difficult things. My eventual goal is to be able to do apple tree, or no, we're not even doing apple tree, we're doing the New Shoes song. But I want them to be able to do so, mi, la. I want them to be able to get that. And we didn't do a ton of that in the not last year because we weren't singing, and so it's a little hard to do those examples when you don't sing them first. So we didn't do as much of that, but I want them to get to this point. It's just a simplified staff. The counters make it really easy. The see-through counters make it really easy, too, to see that line in there. So before, I think I did it where I had them writing on or doing something else, where I had counters you couldn't see through, and I had a lot more of this sort of thing, whereas like on top. And so now that you can see through the counters, it makes it a little bit easier. Anyway, the eventual goal is to be able to do a So Me song, but today in this lesson, I'm going to put y'all back here. Today in this lesson, we had to do the interval of a fifth just for this first time, but I think that we can easily work up to the third. We can work into more. This is just, again, it's like the first time we've done this, or the first time we've done this in a super long time, and so I wanted to get them, more exposure with something a little bit easier. They really love this. Like, they really like it. I always hesitated doing activities like this because I was worried that like the process would fail or they wouldn't hear it. And what I'm finding is that like, yes, that happens. The process fails and they don't hear it sometimes. But some kids get it like that. Some kids who you wouldn't expect get it right away and some don't get it right away. It's just very interesting to see. But usually by the end of the lesson, and this is like half of my lesson, so what, 15 minutes? By the end of that time, many of them get it. And the more I do it each week, if I do it each week just a little bit and a little bit more, they get the process is so much simpler. They're way better at dictating. They're way better at getting that, getting the correct rhythms. And I find that if you do it with counters first or you do it with a manipulative first, it's easier than if you try and have them write out, because like writing or doing any of that is so tricky when you are already trying to like overload their mental process with hearing and putting down the right thing and getting the right order and getting, you know, different lines. That's tricky enough. But then to ask them to draw, and anytime you ask them to like put a note head on something, that takes like another, you know, huge mental process. So the counters are really, really helpful. Doing it on the dry erase pocket's really helpful. But this is just me playing around with it. If you have great ideas about what you use, I know a lot of you use erasers from Target. I didn't go down that road because then I would be forever buying more erasers. And they would be disappearing and eaten and whatever. These counters, these little bingo counters, I can also use for bingo if we do musical bingo or if I leave that for a sub. But also, like, they're not expensive. I got 1,000 of these counters for like $15 or so. I mean, like, a lot. Okay, also 1,000 looks like this, so like that's not a lot, but they're way more cost effective. Anyway, melodic dictation. I want to learn from my Kodai friends because I feel like y'all do so much of this. So please send me like, here's my lesson here, here's this website I used, or here's this whatever. I'd love to hear more of that because I don't feel like I do as much of that as I want to, and I wanna be better with it. So anyway, this was just my thing I'm doing with third grade right now, but please send me your ideas for here's a great thing I like and here's this other thing, and anyway, I'd love your ideas. Okay, I'm gonna spool down here, but couple quick reminders. I'm going to be in Milwaukee this weekend. If you're in Milwaukee and you want to come to a workshop, I'm going to be in Kansas City at the Heart of America Orff chapter in 2 weeks. I'd love to see you at either one of those. And also, I know I've mentioned things in the video. If a couple things that are not on the links page yet. If you have a question about something, please send me an email or send me a message, and I'd love to try and get some of those resources to you. Okay, I hope y'all have a great week. I'll see you again next Monday. Thanks so much, everyone.